I'm going to switch the gears. Okay, let's talk about the bearded man, because I was able to fish. Well, here's what happened. The one day I got to take this client of mine, and I'm just going to let you know he's a little bit off the rocker. But
which, if me and you say that, that's saying something.
Bear with it. You can come on, you can help me out, get the line set, get the, this be another set of hands to this guy. And I'm not kidding you, folks. I was like baffled. At the end of the day, I was like shell shocked, like deer in the headlights after being in the water with this guy for days. I mean, we could talk about this for an hour. The amount of stuff that came out of this guy's mouth, I mean, it's just unbelievable. Well, we can share a lot of stories, but I'll never forget when the guy pulled in the boat ramp. What was it, like a Lincoln Continental yet? But it had like 20-inch Dayton gold wheels on it. And like the fifth wheel in the back and the trunk was a Dayton gold wheel, black windows.
And it was named.
Door pops open. This guy's like, was he probably in his 60s?
I don't think he was at the time, even though it looked like it for sure.
He was weathered.
Yeah,
we'll put it at that. But anyway, big, gray beard. It looked like ZZ Top coming out of the car. He's like, I'm ready to go, mother effer.
You remember the howl, dude? He'd always do the howl.
Ow! Oh, every fish you get on. Ow!
And do you remember when those boats came around us when we were fishing that one's pile? And I'm like, man, all right, whatever you do, we don't want these boats. I'm not going to net this thing. I'm going to sneak it right up, on the side. And we want everybody to know we're catching them here because nobody's here. They're all over there. We want to keep them there. Bearded man. And he's like, yeah. And we get that giant into the boat, and he's like, ow! Every boat on the lake, dude, was driving at us.
Okay, I'm going to cut to the chase. So anyway, this guy was a handful. Well, I'll never forget. We were out there catching these fish, and Ross we had 4 people in the boat, and we were running. I can't remember running 6 or 8 lines.
6.
Yeah. Anyway, Ross would have all these lines set up on the trees, on the staggered rod holders, and we'd have the boards out, and every once in a while Ross would grab the line and pull it so the board would surge. You'd see the tattletale flag go like this, and he'd pull it up and then let the line go. And
hey, that's a secret I don't like telling everybody, but it's out there now. So
the bearded guy would be like, "Play them strings, boy! Play them strings!" Oh, like so, he'd be doing all that stuff, and I'll never forget. I'm gonna get kind of further into the story. So
play them strings, Robertson. Play them strings. If we weren't catching.
Play them strings, boy. Play them strings. So anyway, I'll never forget. We were running in at the end of the day, and it was a nice day, but there's probably like 3 to 4 foot rollers, and we're gliding along, about 20, 22 mile an hour. The waves are splashing, and he pulls out. He's digging around in his pocket, and Ross is driving the boat, and he's sitting there looking at him, and we're bouncing because he's concerned about the guy's safety, Well, he's not holding on to the seat of the rail. He's digging in his pockets like frantically. And he goes, "We're paying up right now. We're paying." He pulls out this wad of cash, and he
oh my God, I remember.
As Ross is driving through the waves on Lake Erie.
Do you remember? There was a $100 bill in my splash well when we got back to the ramp. True story. All wet, just slopped in.
I know, but here I am. I'm sitting in the back against the live well, and the net is behind me. And Ross is like looking back at me. I grabbed the net. I'm like holding it, waiting for the hundreds to fly. But he's like laying them down on the console, and he's like 1, 2, 3, laying his money out. And Ross like, no, we can wait until we get back. He said, "We're paying up right now." I mean, he was like adamant about it.
We're settling up right here, Robertson.
we're paying up right now. So he's like laying the money out. Hands
God, I forgot this one. That's so funny.
Hands up, and I'm like sitting in the back, like, what is this guy doing? And Ross is looking back at me, and he goes, "You know what? It was a pretty damn good day out there. I'm going to take care of you." And he points at me and goes, "I'm going to take care of you And then he points back at Ross again. He goes, I'm going to take care of you again. And he throws a couple hundreds out. He's holding him down in the dash, and the wind's like blowing him on the dash.
Oh, God.
Over. And I was back there with, like I said, I was holding the net, waiting for him to fly and catch him, But as we're driving, he built himself a bologna sandwich, 2 slices of white bread, 1 slice of bologna, and ate that on the way back. Well, we get back to the ramp, and there's like a bunch of boats in the harbor there.
Oh, God. This is where it gets bad, folks. This is where it starts getting bad.
A charter boat tied up to the dock, and there's a bunch of clients on it. And bearded guy's up standing in the front of the boat.
And let me interject real fast. With my guys, there's 2 things that I try to do. I mean, whether it's professionalism or gameplay a little bit, I don't ever like to let other people know how we've done, because out of respect for the other charter, you know what I mean? Maybe didn't do as good. They didn't have a good day. We did. But then also somebody sees you, my boats are wrapped, people know who you are. And I try to fish by myself. So you also don't want to say like, oh, we didn't do really good. Oh, Ross did really good. And he's over there. And we saw his boat when we came by. So it's both of those things. And obviously that didn't work out really well, because most of my guys know to chill out.
We're pulling in the harbor, and this charter boat, he's asking everybody, how'd you do today? Pointing at him. How'd you do? We pull up to the dock, and this charter boat's got about 10 people on it. And we pull up, and Ross like, oh, settle down. We pull up there. He's like, how'd you do? And the guy's like, oh, we got a 4-pounder, and we caught a couple others. And he's like, well, we kicked your ass. And the guy like, and Ross is like, Ross is like, hey, don't think. Well, man, you gotta. And he flips the live well lid open, goes back there, starts grabbing fish, drug him through the parking lot. And
he actually put them on a stringer and drug them through the parking lot.
And he had a wheeled cooler too. A wheeled like a luggage, like how you have a luggage pull behind. He drug them through up to the Lincoln Continental and put them in the trunk. Well,
in the trunk.
I know, but the funny part is he caused an altercation between the other guide. These guys got in an argument about the fish, and then Walt attacked their guide, and he said, well, your guide sucks. And then the guide comes out, and Ross said, hold on here. I didn't say anything. This guy's talking. Let's get the boat in. He had to smooth out the situation. I mean, it was
like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound at that point, but
get him clean. He goes back to the hotel. I'll never forget this. So Ross and I hop in the truck, and we're like, whew, man. Quite the day. So we're like laughing. All of a sudden the phone rings. Ross pulled up. Yeah, how's it going? The bearded guy calls. We got a situation.
That's exactly what he said too. We got a situation, Robertson.
It was, what's wrong? Well, I pulled the judge up to the cottage.
Hey, I want to interrupt for 1 second. I want to interrupt you so we get a full. The car he called the judge, but do you remember why it was called the judge?
I have no idea.
Because he bought that car, this is 100% true, and how he told the story, I definitely can't say exactly, but I'm going to clean it up and say that he bought that car at an estate sale from the judge that put him in the slammer. And I'm like, because I asked him, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of an interesting car for you to have. He's like, I got this from this no good judge. When he died, I went and bought it from an estate sale. Screw that son of a bitch. And I was just like, oh, that's why he called it the judge. Oh. So go ahead, sorry, because this is just one day in the life of the bearded man.
Oh my God. Well, anyway, he goes, we got a situation, mother effer. And I was like, oh, Ross was like, oh, what's going on? He goes, I pulled the judge up in front of the cottage, and apparently she's out of juice. Well, we pulled in, and there's these little cottages, like people could stay in. He's got the car. There's like the driveway and little parking pad. He's got it pulled up all the way to the front door on the grass.
Like you could hardly even get in.
Yeah, like up into the yard, like on the grass at this cottage. All the doors are open. And
the radio was, I guess, gyrating from the neighbors.
What happened is he turned his radio on. I forgot to mention this in the boat. he put on Colt Ford a song and put it on replay for 4 hours.
Yes, he did.
Song.
And he had my speakers in the boat, so all it was doing is just trembling.
Yeah, so we get to there to help him, and he goes, well, I put that new soundtrack of Colt Ford in, and apparently I passed out and took a nap and ran the judge out of juice. So we couldn't get jumper cables up to it because it was in the front lawn. So we had to push the car away from the cottage. And at the same time, I think that the lodge manager.
Well, I was just going to say, do you remember who ultimately helped us?
Yeah, I think the lodge manager come over to say that you can't park in the yard, and then once again the bearded guy got in an altercation.
So I don't remember if you remember, Tyson, but I think you might be missing this part of it. It was bike week, and a majority of the people that were staying at those cottages were bikers. Do you remember that now? And let's say 3/4 of them were what I call Harley, accountant bikers, where they're an accountant or an executive guy and they got a Harley and nice leather. But there was about 20-some% that these dudes was like Sons of Anarchy on Bike Week, right? And do you remember the guy that came over and gave us the longer jumper cables so that we could get around? Was the guy, because the lodge manager and then the biker guy came over, and they swapped jumper cables. So the lodge manager had these like $10 Home Depot ones that were like, tiny, and the other guy had like welding cable. And he swapped them, and he gave the biker back the $10 pair, and he gave the welding cable homemade ones to the lodge guy, and they're like, no, these are swapped. He's like, no, I know which one I gave it to. And he was making a shit fit out of nothing. And the biker guy came up. Do you remember this? And the biker guy came up, and he was like, we're gonna have a problem. Like he was gonna knock him out. One of the guys watched my TV deal, or it was something, or watched me from something that I had done. And he's like,
you're the fishing guy.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, you're that fishing dude from, and as we're standing in this crowd, and I'm trying to, because a crowd had formed around the car at that point, and I'm trying to get him, and this guy was like, went over to the biker dude who was like, it was Sons of Anarchy, legit deal. And he's like, yeah, Tom, we're gonna cut this loose, because he was straight gonna get his teeth knocked out on that one. I mean, straight up. Like, dude, there was 20 dudes, excuse me, that wanted to knock him out, man.
I just remember it the whole time that the radio was still cracked, because the Colt Ford, the car was out of juice, but the speakers were still crackling because he wanted to play the thing. So, and we'd hook up the jumpers, and then it'd come back in and go back out. He's like, oh, here's my song.
Yeah, right in the middle of it, oblivious, just